starts the Southern Maryland Guitar Guru Show, featuring Dan Harsha and Dan Allman. This week's show, we're highlighting the latest in music, life, and culture.
Others through different eyes.
Yeah. It's Dan Harsha with the Guitar Gurus, and with me always is
Dan Allman.
Yeah, man, we're back. So we just got off the phone with Chris Lane. We took a break. We're gonna get him back on and finish up our conversation with him. So let's see if the old technology is gonna help us out.
I have faith in it.
Sometimes. Ooh, it's ringing. We're there.
Yeah, man. Hope he doesn't have a rotary phone.
Ooh. I believe it's mobile.
Hello, this is Chris Lane.
Chris Lane, it's Dan Harsha with the Guitar Gurus, and with me always is
Dan Allman.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
All right, we're great. Well, we're talking to Chris Lane here, Hypnotic Ink Tattoo Shop now. Long live the old days, buddy. But Chris is local tattoo artist, works at Hypnotic Ink on 925 in Waldorf, Maryland. It's the newest shop in town. It's the hippest shop, and hence that's why he's there. So Chris, tell us about the tattoo shop and how to get services from you for this. Tell me how to be a consumer.
Well, I tell you, first you have the desire, and then you have this podcast right here.
Right.
Hypnotic Ink is located at 2894 Old Washington Road. You can take a left on 228, past that gold mine on the right that we all know and love, and go about a half a mile down on the right, and you'll find Baby Boy's Tavern, which is also a local watering hole, and right next to that we have Hypnotic Ink. And inside Hypnotic Ink, you have Crystal Ghost, Samantha Stein, Justin Bowden, and the mighty Chris Lane. That's 4 top-notch tattoo artists, all super experienced, all super professional, and all super excited to meet every single person's needs. This isn't your fly-by-night joint. We started, campaigned, created, and overcame the idea that we could have Southern Maryland's first tattoo expo. It came, it went, it was successful, it was sold out, it was beautiful, and that was just within 3 months of being open. Who knows what we're going to do next? This month we have a Christmas ornament promotion. Oh my God, walk into the shop, hand us a $100 bill, go to the Christmas tree, pick off an ornament, that's your tattoo. Now you can choose a guy tattoo, a girl tattoo, or crazy tattoo based on color, but the truth is, that's your tattoo. And God, if tattoo wasn't made for novelty, I don't know what it was made for.
I got you. So let's back the process up. I'm thinking about this and I'm trying to process. So the Christmas ornament in itself, is the tattoo design that you're going to get on the ornament, or is it inside the ornament?
It is inside the ornament, hidden under a colored swatch of paper, surrounded by tinsel, and then in a clear ornament globe. You get to go and pick off your random tattoo, your mystery tattoo, your novelty tattoo, and get one of these 4 amazing artists to do it. Now, it doesn't matter what the tattoo design is. Each artist will put their own spin on it, their own take on it, and we're going to give you at least $250 worth of value out of whatever design you pick.
Okay, man, that's a really cool promotion. And you know what? Some of the best tattoos you can get are some random designs you had no idea was out there. And it sounds like that y'all actually hand drew these, and they're unique. It's not a flash piece, right?
Well, to be truthful, there's a little bit of both.
Okay, I mean, you're upfront and honest about it. It's still a tattoo. What we're trying to do
is tap into a temporary novelty market. Because there's a lot of folks that have a lot of friends. And we were talking about friends earlier. Well, friends aren't getting a tattoo together because they both fell in love with the design and wanted it for years. Friends and family get a tattoo together to mark time.
Right.
That's what they get it for. So years from now, they can look back on that moment and remember that moment of bonding with that person or that group of people. Sometimes the design gets in the way. We talked about the way people nitpick prior. Well, what if you didn't have a choice of the design and you just came and you just got it, and we took that problem off your lap and then put you into something beautiful that you could still be proud of, and your friends or your family got it too. And that's what we're seeing is happening. A person will come by themselves and pick an ornament, but usually it's a couple people together, and they're giggling, and they're laughing, and they're hugging, and they're in different artist booths, and they're getting their tattoo, and they're musing over what it's going to be like and how crazy the moment is, and that's what it's all about.
You know what? And the other cool part about this is the staff y'all have there, the artists that you have there, everybody's top notch. And so if 4 or 5 people come in, they can all get tattooed kind of at the same time. And
absolutely.
And how cool is that to set that up? Because you could be like in booth 1 going, "Hey man, Mary in booth 3, how you doing?" And then they could be talking back and forth, and then it's experience too. And every time they look at that tattoo, they'll think about sitting in the booth, what was going on. My tattoo artist, man, he's a local musician. He's into the scene. How cool is this? I'm always going to remember this day. This is so awesome, and it cost me $100.
Exactly. And so if you're the type of person that cares more about the event and the bonding than you do about the actual image, and you still know that the artist that you have working on you is top notch and they're going to do the best they can with that design, I don't know where there's a lose in the situation.
I mean,
because you're not that type of person. You're not going to come and pay $100 and pick an ornament off anyway.
Right. We're talking to Chris Lane here, Hypnotic Inc., Old Washington Road. We refer to it as 925 in Southern Maryland. This promotion, man, I'm telling you, and the people running your shop, I have to give my hats off to them. They're doing things that's never been done before in the tattoo industry, and it's sending shockwaves through the scene and the market in Southern Maryland. And it's just cool to see it and to see it happen, because I mean the local tattoo market is it's just crazy how it's been for years. It's just been stale, and now it's a breath of fresh air. There's an energy about it, and it's kind of cool to see it all go come back, man. Can you comment on that? Tell us what the scene is at the shop every day. I'm not there every day. You are. What's going on, man? What's the buzz in Waldorf about Hypnotic Inc.?
I got to tell you, when Hypnotic Inc. started, I mean, we live in a community of 9 or 10 tattoo shops. DC has 4 times as many citizens, but they have like a quarter of those shops. So you come in with a lot of competition. I don't want to say that we live in an art community, because we don't, but there's enough artists and enough art enthusiasts in the community to substantiate 9 or 10 tattoo shops within a 20-mile radius. So you know that coming in. Nobody knew who these owners were. They've never heard their names before.
Right.
They know of the artists that are there, and we know the artists that are in the other shops that we know and love. And some of us have worked amongst the people in the other shops. So I guess it's like a mixed bag what the community expected from us, based on these owners having nothing to do with the community tattoo-wise before. The vibe now, I think they've earned their respect. They've, in a very little time, they've earned their stripes. Everybody who tattoos in Southern Maryland, and that's a bold statement, but everybody who tattoos in Southern Maryland knows that there's a shop called Hypnotic Inc.
Right. I mean, dude, because the energy in the market is real, and dude, they might not feel it today, they might not feel it tomorrow, but if they don't change their act, they're gonna see people drift away. And I mean, you can only tattoo one guy so many times until he's covered. You know, you got to have some new customers coming in. I mean, and people want to be where it's hip. I mean, this is a hip town. I mean, it's back. This goes back to the '90s, Dan, and I think you can I think everybody here can revel in this one. Every time a new restaurant and bar would open up in Waldorf in the late '90s, early 2000s, it was the hot shit for like a month or two. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, I would give it 3 months. Like I've said in the past, that every single new bar or restaurant or business gets 3 months of absolute solid action.
Yep. That's how the culture works here. I mean, it's exactly how it works. And then the rest of us kind of just would wait until it died down, and then it was gone.
Right. But my point is Hypnotic Inc. is in that slot right now where everybody's taking notice. And I think and I think the owners of the shop, I'm not going to name them until they want to come on the air and talk, which I think you can probably arrange for us one day, maybe to get them to come on and tell us their story. But I think them not doing the tattooing is what's making the shop successful in a way. Okay? Because they don't have the ego to be an artist. Because, dude, every artist I've met, we all got our ways about us. And them not being that, them just being business owners that want to be involved and just like seeing it all go down, which, you know, I love tattoos too. You know, if I could own a shop, I would. But that's a different story. But I'm just saying, I think that's a game changer because they're trying to market to where they went to the papers. They actually, you know, had the bold action to go into other shops and say, hey, we're putting together this expo. We want to have you involved. We're in the scene. Let's work together. And there was a lot of pushback at first, correct?
Absolutely. There was pushback. There was a lot of, who are you?
Right. And they didn't tuck their tail, you know, they didn't put their heads down and tuck their tail and go home. They're like, okay, you're not with us. I'm still going to do it. And I think
that's the truth. And I told Brent, who is one of the shop owners, his wife is named Maryalnd, and I told him, man, it takes a year to plan the kind of event that you're talking about, whether it's tattoos or a prom or just anything. To plan the kind of event you're trying to plan to be successful at it, it usually takes a year. So I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying that if you're doing it, you got to hit the ground running. And he did. He hit the ground running. He called every shop, and then he went to every shop, and he had to deal with county commissioners all the way through that journey, by the way. Had to deal with the health department. He called plenty of vendors, every tattoo vendor you ever heard of. Right. Their pushback was it's a one-day event, but if you do a two-day event, we're there. Well, now he's done the event, and the vendors he called prior are all signed up for next year.
Wow.
So there's just no way to call it anything other than a success. And if you look at the papers and the interviews that the journalists had with him, he said all through it, and my favorite quote by Brent is, we're putting on this event because people in the community don't know what artist to see for the tattoo they have. So we're putting on this event, and you can come and you can see every single local tattoo artist, and you can pick the person that does what you want them to do. Now, how can you say this man is just promoting his own business? He's not. He's promoting the tattoo industry in Southern Maryland.
Right.
No one's ever done that before. Dan's, Double Dan's.
Right, but
no one's done that. It's always been my shop, my shop, my shop. My artist, my artist, my artist. He did something totally different, and it's going to pay off for years.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm telling you. In dealing business to business, you know, Brent's got the mindset to call these companies and talk to them as a business person, not as a tattoo artist. And I think that's what makes the difference. You know,
I agree.
You know, I mean, dude, you can't. The guys that are selling you know, you're calling company for supplies, yada yada. You know, that the guy on the other end doesn't care what you're doing for a living. You know, but you can't talk to him like, hey man, you know, I did. You know, like it's like Brent, like I need X, Y, and Z. Yeah. You know, that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. if it makes sense.
Well, it works, and next year's event will be twice as strong.
I can't wait for it, man. I'm telling you, dude. I think what I want to do is I want you to do. I want to get involved with it at that event, and I want you to finish my arm at that event. I'll wait if that's cool with you.
Well, I mean, I'm liking to agree with you. It's a 2-day event, and so one day I'd like to do that, and then the other day I'd like to perform with Sage, because the music was also integral to the success of the event. We had some very good talent, you know, at the Tattoo Expo. I lift up two. We had Dearly Departed, which is an all-original hip-hop rap act, you know, with live instruments backing them. They were incredible. They really were.
If I can,
true to form, an incredible act. And then we had Southern Maryland's own Spoiler Alert, which is a cover band. We're usually, I guess I thumb my nose at most cover bands, except this one, among others, is incredibly talented. And they don't just try to copy the sound of the song. They just play the song the way they play the songs, and they were brilliant.
If I can interject, can I interject right here on this? I'm 100% in agreement with you on this, Chris. Dearly Departed, you know, you got Joe Henn fronting that, who is actually my cousin through marriage, by the way. So we do a lot of family functions together. Very, very talented.
That's cool.
Very talented. I love what they do. It's original, and they have their own thing. Love them. So if you ever get a chance to check them out, I'm plugging them right now. Check them out. Spoiler alert.
You should definitely hear them.
Spoiler alert. Same thing. Brian Grumbine, me and Dan, the 2Ds. We played in many bands together over the last 20 years with Brian. It's a very good friend of us, good friend of everybody in the scene and locally. Great talent. Yeah. I just had to put that in there.
Yeah, and shout out to Larry Ward on bass for Spoiler Alert. Amazing bass player and a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larry.
Yeah, so we support.
They were incredible.
Their support.
They really were. I enjoyed that. And by the way, if you're a tattoo artist and you're working and you're competing and you're hearing good quality local music, and because it's a local event, you know those people in the band, or you know friends that know those people in the band, it just gets you juiced up all the more.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good
It's
stuff.
all about supporting each other, man. You got to have support.
Yep, I'm down with that, guys, man. I mean, Chris, so we're talking to Chris Lane, Hypnotic Inc. Chris, Hypnotic Inc. shop. What is the influence that you're seeing now with the foot traffic when your first day there and then the last day there? What's the difference? Can you kind of give us a guide in the next 30 seconds to a minute and a half of what change have you seen since the show, since day one, since you started there? Just tell us what's the difference in foot traffic. I'm just curious.
Well, it's interesting because they opened the shop during a traditionally slow month of the tattoo industry, but likened to the conversation we just had about new businesses in Southern Maryland, they still boomed. You know, July is a very slow month, but it's a new business, so they kind of boomed.
Right.
Not as strong as you would boom if you opened up at the end of January, but definitely strong number. And December is traditionally the very slowest month of the tattoo industry anywhere in America. And I'm not going to say the numbers are wrapped up the way they would be in the second week of January after tax season, but we're seeing well more than we should. We have slow days and we have busy days. Last Saturday was extremely busy. I anticipate more busy days, by the way, by way of the ornament promotion. I anticipate more busy days in December than I've seen in any other shop. That's my anticipation, just based on what I've seen.
That's cool. I mean, do you have appointments booking up now? I mean, is there? I mean, how what's your availability? I mean, like you know the classic American.
I have an appointment tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, and that says something. And I've been watching the other shops that participated in the expo, and I see that they have appointments tomorrow.
Right.
That's not normal. Everybody's usually begging for work this time of year. You know, running crazy promotions. And some artists still are. But, I mean, if I could be so, I don't know what the word is for it. It almost feels tacky to say it. But in December, artists don't charge $150 an hour. You know, they back off those prices and they give a lot of deals.
Yeah, because it's
We're still
supply and
charging
demand.
$150 an hour.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good, man. I mean, if you want the hot stuff, you got to pay for it sometimes. You know, I mean, supply and demand. That's how it works.
Well, usually it's so dead in the water, everybody has to, like, you know, bow to just the cheapest price. And we're just standing strong and saying, look, it's a very fair rate for people that have years and years and years of experience and still have the passion of a brand new artist. And I guess that's the trick. You know, you can have 10 years experience and lose your passion.
Right,
But
right.
what if you have 10 years experience and you still feel that passion that you felt the first year in doing something?
Yeah, I mean that's strong, man. I mean that's what a professional is that's exactly what you're describing, is having that passion and that enthusiasm. It's not a job to you, it's just what you do. And you know, it's like I like playing guitar, you know, I can't wait to get the guitar in my hand. You should be like that with your tattoo gun. You'd be like, dude, I'm ready, man. Just where's the guy at? Come on, bring him on. But yeah, man, I mean, it's cool to see this shop just take off and blossom like this, because that's what we needed down here. And shame on all the other shops that thought they were too good to be involved, because it's gonna backfire on them. I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, yeah, I mean, you might have a certain clientele right now, but you know, they only have so much skin available. You're gonna have to get some new people eventually. So, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, that's the biggest marketing error I see in a lot of local shops, and that's how a lot of them come and go a lot too, right?
Absolutely. I'm a businessman, so I look at the census report. No matter where I work, I look at the census report, and I want to know what the median household income is, what the average person in that area makes a year, you know, how many people are there. If you look at that information, it might shock you, you know, for Southern Maryland. It's a little more than you probably thought, but way less than you'd anticipate. You know?
Right.
And so for anybody to be successful, it really does depend on you connecting with your audience. And I think that's a great segue to talk about music.
Right. Well, we're coming up on the break again, buddy, man. The time flies on the show. Got to have you back on again in a little bit. What do you think? What's your schedule looking like? Would you like to come back on the show again?
Oh, absolutely. You just got to, like, hit me up and let me know, and I'm all about it.
Oh, great, man. Well, cool. Well, I'll be in touch. We're talking to Chris Lane, Hypnotic Ink, local tattoo artist, lead singer, band Sage with me. Chris Lane, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you coming on, man. I'll holler at you soon. All right, bud?
Absolute pleasure, buddy, talking to you this evening.
Well, I want to say thank you to the Dans. The Dans are the guitar gurus of your generation. They have 2 Dans for every fan. I repeat it. They have 2 Dans for every fan. What else could you want, people? Keep tuning in.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. So I'll catch you.
Have a good one.
Yep.
You too.
Yep. All right, that's Dan and Dan on the Guitar Gurus. We'll wrap it up for this episode. Any wise words before we go, Mr. Altman?
Well, never trust a fart and never waste a hard on, my friend.
I'm down, brother. Talk at you, bud. We'll see you.